Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It is 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. And I want to once again talk about Donald Trump. I want to talk about him constantly painting what's going on in America as just the left wing radicals, the agitators, the anarchists that are trying to tear down America. Let me say this. These kinds of demonstrations, these kinds of protests have been going on throughout American history. It's a wonderful part of change in America. And for just as long, people like Donald Trump white, wealthy men have been trying to put down basically been trying to put down the rest of America getting their equal rights. And this has been going on through all of American history. From the Boston Tea Party, the Stamp Act riots from before the Boston Tea Party, when King George wanted to tax all the written reading material. There was riots over that. The Boston Tea Party, the Stonewall riots in 1969, when gay men fought for their equal rights. They were being harassed. Being homosexual was illegal in most of the country back then. And the police would routinely rough up and arrest patrons of bars in New York City and elsewhere. And finally, gay men had enough. And this rioting, protests, demonstrations are a beautiful part, a patriotic part of American life. And they've been going on for just as long as people like Donald Trump have been trying to dominate this country and have their will imposed over the rest of the country. The suffragette movement, it was largely violent, I think, in Britain. In the United States, it was more peaceful protest. One of the interesting things, women during the suffragette movement, they blocked the White House, a silent protest in front of the White House, and they blocked traffic. It wasn't automobile traffic back then, but they blocked traffic. And that reminds me so much of what just happened a month ago when Donald Trump got his stormtroopers and plowed through the peaceful protesters in Washington, D.C., and held his Bible aloft and then marched back. Yeah, see, this has been going on for hundreds of years. And people like Donald Trump have been trying to impose their will, trying to paint it as some unpatriotic, trying to tear down America. It's basically wealthy white men trying to maintain their leverage over the rest of the country. The Kent State riots, wanting to get Nixon to get the soldiers out of Cambodia. Rodney King riots. This is the civil right, all the civil rights marches throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s. This has been going on through all of American history. I almost forgot the Dorr Rebellion in Rhode Island in 1841. The ruling elite class of wealthy white men, once again, have been using this law since the 1600s that only wealthy white land-owning men with $134 in savings could vote. It was an early form of voter suppression, an early form of gerrymandering. This exact same thing has been going on throughout American history. And people like Donald Trump were the root cause of it, trying to dominate, trying to win by any means necessary, by voter suppression, by turning the victims into the accused, making them look guilty. This has been going on through all of American history, and it's still going on today with Trump painting the movement for defunding the police, for change, for doing away with police brutality and violence. This movement. I want to talk about one other interesting thing. The Trump campaign has canceled a rally. I believe it's in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They said it was because of this storm. It's passing by here right now. Actually, it's passing by probably about 80 miles to the west, or over 100 miles to the west of where I am right now. It's basically, it's going nowhere near Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Nowhere near Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So why would Donald Trump's administration cancel this rally? I'll tell you why. Nightmares of Tulsa. That's why. It's no surprise. It's no secret that up here in the Northeast in New England, I'm not saying we're all Democrat, liberal leaning, but a large portion of us are. The governor of New Hampshire and a lot of officials have already said they're not going to show up out of fears or out of being smart with everything that's going on with the COVID virus. And I believe that the Trump campaign was just having fears that a half-filled auditorium would be the result of a rally up here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So I'm glad he's not coming up here into New England. Thank God. So yeah, you can keep your Trumpism out of New England. We don't want it up here. All right, you guys have a good Saturday.